NBIS, Nebius Group is another one we've talked about. And so this productivity boom, what that does is that can forgive your sins financially. So that means if you have a big deficit or a large amount of debt and you become insanely productive, that can actually work your way out of the debt, right? So it's just like in your life. If you have a lot of money that you owe on your credit card, but you suddenly find a way to make twice as much in income, then that amount on your credit card isn't going to hold you back as much. Also, here's another concern. Well, it's not it's a concern, but it's also an issue. She thinks that inflation is going to drop in the next couple of years. I don't think it's going to drop though. I think that the tariffs are going to actually increase inflation, and right now the evidence is pointing in the direction of increased inflation, which is another issue, which unfortunately connects to the fact that job growth is not what it should be. So you got what I think is the formula for potentially stagflation, which is a dirty word in economics. That's when you have low productivity of the economy and high inflation at the same time. So the Fed is fighting battles on multiple fronts. But what's probably going to happen is that the Fed is likely going to reduce interest rates several times in the next year or so. And there's a saying in investing that says, don't fight the Fed. And what that means is that typically when the Fed reduces interest rates, you see a little bit of a boost in the stock market. In fact, historically, when the government has shut down, the stock market actually goes up, which is just the craziest thing. It makes no sense, but that's just what happens. Also, Kathy and others expect that there's going to be a manufacturing boom in the United States, and fueled mostly by foreign direct investment. She mentioned that just this year, she said basically the Trump drama, the chaos, the kind of ghettoization of all the American infighting over politics, that's made people not want to invest as much in the U.S., which has had an impact on bond yields. Bond yields haven't gone down as much as they should, and a lot of people believe that there's a lower demand for U.S. bonds and that it's affected the dollar and stuff like that. She thinks that that's temporary. She thinks that once people see the massive productivity boost of the United States, they're going to invest in the U.S. again. And I don't disagree. I mean, they did something crazy with depreciation where they're literally letting you write off. They're letting businesses write off like the next 20 or 30 years of an investment, which is unprecedented from what I understand. And that's massive in terms of really impacting corporate profits and things like that. Now, another thing that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, believes, and there are a few that agree with him, is that these increases in productivity can actually reduce the deficit to literally below 3% of GDP, which actually there's evidence to say that the deficit's actually already dropping under the Trump administration, I guess due to collection of tariffs and some things like that. And so this sort of is this is unexpected by a lot of people, but it basically says that if we do get these productivity gains that are expected, that can have a positive impact on the deficit over the next 3 or 4 years. In addition to that, even beyond the dollar sort of having, being impacted by the fact that the Trump drama has made America look bad and reduced the demand for the dollar. A lot of people believe that there's going to be that a lot of these people that say we're not going to invest in the U.S., we're diversifying away from the U.S. They're all going to come back because one thing the U.S. is just really good at is being productive and building businesses and making investments. We have the best capital markets on earth, the most liquid, most efficient, most impactful. And everybody's like, oh, we're mad at the US. We're leaving. They're kind of like that girlfriend, that gets mad, but she's dating the guy who's got the mansion and the Porsche and everything. And she tries to walk away, but then she realizes that she's going to have to go work at Wendy's again if she don't turn around and come back. So she just says, okay, well, don't cheat on me no more. Right. So I'm kidding. I'm joking. But that's kind of what it is in the United States. That basically, because the US is so productive, the return on capital is going to be so massive. The hyperscalers are making such crazy investments when it comes to AI. It is a bubble, by the way. It is a bubble. It's probably going to pop.